been a little off track. All of these years like a weight on my back. All of these fears I won't make it, I'm faking. I'm afraid I should throw away the faith that I had. When I finally fall to pieces, will you tell me I don't need this? Or will you show me to the youth
court found one more file that you hadn't been booked on. And so I just needed to see you on that and consolidate it with the other things that you have going on. It's for, it's occupying or remaining on a traffic median.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, from April 19th. So on that, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. Warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. So I'm just going to, like I said, consolidate this with the other matters that you have in city court. So it'll still just be the $500 bond total for everything, in the city public defender's office is appointed, and you still have your video review date for May 2nd at 1:45. All right?
Okay.
Great. Thanks,
Thank you,
sir.
ma'am.
You're excused. Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
You already went, you said before Ellis.
Mr. Ellis, I am seeing you this evening because you have, it looks like a warrant out of justice court for a shoplift. Did you go to court today on your felony?
Yes,
And were you released?
I was.
Okay. All right, then I'm gonna release you on this as well. And just order that you not return to the incident location. And then you need to be in Pima County Justice Court to deal with this case on May 20th at 9:30 in the morning. You are gonna get paperwork with that information on it. You understand?
Yes.
All right, your excuse, sir.
He still continues.
Is Bauman still unavailable?
He's still unavailable.
So that's right.
Bye.
Hi, ma'am, can I get your full name?
Eddie?
Ms. Grandinetti, I am seeing you this evening because you've got some cases out of justice court and out of city court. You've got some new charges of domestic violence, assault, criminal damage, and disorderly conduct. And then you've got a couple of cases out of Tucson City Court that were in warrant status.
Well,
Hold on just a
it's okay.
second. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Actually, okay, I see that just on April 7th that you had the warrant quashed on those cases in city court. But then, like I said, you have these new charges. I am going to enter not guilty pleas for you at this time and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. Warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. Looks like you've also got a warrant. I misspoke. I think I said city justice court. It's actually Marana City Court for a disorderly conduct from 2023. That does look like it was in warrant status. All right. So since you were just in court recently, I'm somewhat inclined to release you, but I want to make sure that you understand that you have to stay away from Crystal Lopez.
I promise I will. I promise. I have to go home.
And then you're gonna get two different court dates, one in Tucson, Tucson City Court and one in Marana City Court. You're gonna need to get to both of those hearings.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna give you some dates in just a second, and all of this will be in writing as well.
Okay.
So your city court date will be on May 27th at 1:30. So we're vacating the May 19th hearing that you were given
Okay.
in city court. So that one's gone now, and instead you're going to go on May 27th at 1:30 to deal with all of these cases.
Okay. All at once? Awesome.
Just
Okay.
for the city court cases, and then Marana will be separate. And again, I'm ordering no contact of any kind with Ms. Lopez. Don't go to her residence or workplace, contact her on the phone or any other way. And I'm ordering that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. And then your Marana date is, the next day, May 28th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Awesome.
Your excuse me. Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Name is Lee Hernandez.
All right, Mr. Johnson, I'm seeing you this evening because you have a warrant for a charge of escape in the second degree alleged to have occurred on February 5th of 2025. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint David Wilkeson to represent you. And you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. The state is asking that I hold Mr. Johnson on a $5,000 bond. And he is already being held without bond on a probation violation. So anything from defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Given the probation hold, we just asked the court to consider setting $1,000 for time verdict. Thank you.
I'll make it a $2,500 bond, cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted. Arraignment is scheduled for May 5th at 1:30 in Superior Court. All right, sir, that is all. You're excused. Sir, can I get your full name?
Jesus Cota.
Mr. Cota, I'm seeing you this evening on charges of domestic violence, aggravated harassment. And it looks like there are, I think, 4 counts. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And you've got counsel seated next to you for this evening's hearing. I have reviewed all of the information, including the state's recommendation. of a $20,000 bond with pretrial services. And he's currently being held without bond on other matters. Defense?
Thank you, Judge. So it looks like Mr. Koda is already being held on a $25,000 bond on a separate case in Superior Court. The CMC is on May 19th. In addition, as the court just noted, there is a hold without bond from the marshal's office. So it looks like even if he posts the bond, he will be released to federal custody and won't be able to bond out. So for those reasons, Your Honor, we are asking the court to consider a $2,000 bond. Thank you.
Okay. We'll order a $2,500 bond, cash or secured. And no contact of any kind with Ashley Henry. And that includes, sir, asking third parties to contact her. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And your preliminary hearing date is scheduled for May 8th. Right. That is all. You're excused. Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Lori.
Mr. Hernandez, I am seeing you this evening because you have a warrant for charges of possession of narcotic drug, possession of drug paraphernalia that are alleged to have occurred on November 20th of 2024. This is out of Pima County Superior Court. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. I have reviewed all of the information, including the state's recommendation of the $2,500 bond that was listed on the warrant. And I see that Mr. Hernandez is being held on other matters with about $15,000 plus in bonds. I'll hear from defense.
Thank you, Judge. Given that this is a post-indictment case, I don't know if the court would be inclined to run a concurrent bond with the other matters. But if in case the court is not inclined to do that, we would just ask that the court reimpose the $1,000 bond that was set at his last initial appearance. That way he'll start to earn time credit on this case as well. Thank you.
All right, I'll order $1,000 cash or secured bond. And arraignment is scheduled for May 5th at 1:30 in Superior Court. All right, sir, that is all. You're excused.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, where are you living right now?
Folks.
All right, I'm going to hold you on a $500 cash or secured bond. I will appoint Michael Bond to represent you. I'm ordering that you have no contact with any alleged victim and that you will have a video review tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning in South Tucson. If you were to post that bond, you need to make sure that you get to South Tucson tomorrow at 10 or another warrant's going to issue for your arrest. Do you understand? Just till tomorrow morning. All right. Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Officer Luke Gibson.
Mr. Gibson, I'm seeing you this evening on a charge of domestic violence assault. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint Christian Salter to represent you. I'm going to order that you be held on a $2,500 cash or secured bond. And if you were to post that bond, I'm ordering that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. I'm ordering that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, Margarita. You cannot go to her residence or workplace, call her on the phone, send her a letter. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you were to post that bond, I'm also putting in my order that you could return to the residence one time with a law enforcement escort to get your personal belongings. So you would take my order to the nearest police station and have them go with you to get your things. You're going to be seen tomorrow, April 29th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Justice Court. You understand all of that?
So I'm gonna be in custody.
Yes, you're going to stay in custody unless you post that bond. If you do post that bond, you need to make sure that you get to Justice Court tomorrow at 1 o'clock so that a warrant doesn't issue. But if you don't post the bond, then you'll be seen tomorrow by video. All right? That's all. You're excused. Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Jose Francisco Nunez.
Mr. Nunez, I'm seeing you this evening on a few different matters. You have a new charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint Douglas Taylor to represent you in Justice Court. I'm going to order that you be held on a $250 cash or secured bond. And you've got a hearing tomorrow in Justice Court at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you post your bonds, you would need to get to that hearing. If you do not post your bonds, then you'll have a video review from the jail. Then you also have some files out of Tucson City Court, including a petition to revoke probation. I'm going to read that to you now. It says that on February 4th of 2025, you were adjudicated guilty of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and harassment by communication. You were placed on probation for 18 months and given written conditions of probation. The court was petitioned to revoke your probation because they say that you were not compliant in that you failed to complete your CSM intake, you failed to complete your domestic violence intake and treatment, and you failed to complete substance abuse evaluation and treatment. I'm going to enter denials of those allegations at this time. And I'm going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. No, order that you be held on a $500 cash or secured bond on those matters. Order that you have no contact of any kind with any alleged victims. And you'll be seen on this on May 6th at 1:45 in City Court. If you were to post your bonds, you would need to get to City Court on May 12th at 2:30 in the afternoon, or warrants will issue for your arrest. Do you understand, sir? All right, you're excused. Ma'am, can I get your full name, please?
Erica Marie Pereira.
Ms. Perea, I am seeing you this evening on a few different matters. Like you've got new charge of criminal trespass and a couple of cases out of Tucson City Court that are in warrant status. And then you've got a case out of Justice Court, shoplifting from 2023 that's in warrant status, and criminal trespass from December 17th of 2024 out of South Tucson Municipal Court. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. On this new matter, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. Warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. All right, so on the Tucson City Court matters, I'm going to order that you be held on a $250 cash bond. I will appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. And if you're still in custody, you'll have a video hearing on May 6th at 1:45. If you were to post your bonds, you would need to get to Tucson City Court on June 2nd at 2:30. And then on your Justice Court matter, I'm going to order that you be held on a $250 bond on that one as well. It's a cash bond. I will appoint Sam Washington to represent you. And your hearing there will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then on your South Tucson matter, I'm also ordering a $250 cash bond. Your attorney there will be Michael Vaughn. And your hearing will be tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Right, you'll get paperwork with all of that information on it, ma'am, but do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you're excused.
No, ma'am.
Hi, sir, can I get your full name?
Michael William Ritter.
Mr. Ritter, I am seeing you this evening on a few different matters. You've got a warrant out of Justice Court for shoplifting from 2023. And then you've got several files out of Tucson City Court. The most recent one was January of this year for criminal trespass. And then you've got 3 other files from 2024. So on your Tucson City Court matters, I'm going to order that you be held on a $250 cash bond. I'll appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. If you're still in custody, you will have a hearing on May 6th at 1:45. If you were to post your bond, you would need to get to Tucson City Court on June 3rd at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then on your Justice Court matter, I'll appoint Christian Salter to represent you there. And you're going to be seen, I'm going to hold you on a $250 cash bond on that one. And you'll be seen tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Justice Court. You understand all of that, sir?
Yeah.
All right, you're excused. Hi, sir. Can I get your full name, please? Oh,
Carlton Lynn Payne.
all right, Mr. Payne, I'm seeing you this evening because you have warrants out for your arrest in several cases out of Tucson City Court. There's one in 2019, one in 2023. Actually, sorry, 4 from 2023 and 2 from 2024. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I'm going to order that you be held on a $500 cash bond. If you were to post that bond, I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs and you not return to any incident location. I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. You'll have a video review hearing on May 6th at 1:45. That's all, sir. You're excused. Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Christopher Alvarez.
Mr. Alvarez, I am seeing you this evening on new charges of criminal trespass and drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Sir, where are you living right now? Do you have housing? Okay. So I'm going to order that you be released on these charges, and I would send you to there's a trailer outside of the jail. It's called the Transition Center that can help you with housing resources, but unfortunately they're closed right now. So if you're interested in that, you can come back in the morning and talk to them about getting some housing resources, but I am going to release you on these charges. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty for you at this time and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. Warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. So, sir, I'm also ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs and that you don't return to the place that you were arrested at. And you're going to need to be in Tucson City Court on May 28th at 9 o'clock in the morning, or a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all of that?
Yes.
All right, you're excused, sir. Hi, sir. Can I get your full name? Mr. Calderon, I'm seeing you this evening on charges of domestic violence, assault, and disorderly conduct. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty for you at this time and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. A warrant can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. So, sir, pretrial services did speak with the alleged victim, Juliana. She wants to have contact with you, does not object to your release, and said that you're welcome to return home. I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear in court. I am ordering that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. You're going to need to be in Tucson City Court on May 27th at 1:30 in the afternoon, or a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're excused. Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Cesar Chavez.
Mr. Chavez, I'm seeing you this evening because you have warrants out of Tucson City Court. You have a recent one from March 5th of this year, criminal trespass and drug paraphernalia, and then you've got a couple cases from 2024 and one from 2023 that are all in warrant status. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I am going to order that you be held on a $250 cash bond on all of these matters. If you were to post your bond, I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you don't return to any incident location. I will appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. If you're still in custody, you'll be seen by video on May 6th at 1:45. If you were to post your bond, you would need to get to Tucson City Court on May 30th at 2:00 in the afternoon, or warrants will issue for your arrest. Do you understand, sir?
Mayor,
All right, you're excused.
Hello.
Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Joshua Richard Mangy, MNG.
Mr. Manji, I'm seeing you this evening on some new charges of criminal trespass in the first degree and criminal damage. You've also got several cases out of Tucson City Court, some of which are in warrant status. All right, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty for you at this time and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss in your absence, warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. Sir, I'm going to order that you be held on a $250 cash bond. If you were to post that bond, I'm ordering that you do not possess any alcohol or illegal drugs and that you do not return to any of the incident locations from these cases. I am going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. If you're still in custody, you'll have a video review on May 6th at 1:45. If you were to post your bond, you would need to be at Tucson City Court on June 3rd at 10:00 in the morning, or warrants will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
I'm staying in jail.
Yes, unless you post the bond. Your excuse, sir. Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Stephen Nathan Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, I'm seeing you this evening on a petition to revoke probation out of Tucson City Court. I'm going to read that to you now. It says that on January 26th of 2022, you were adjudicated guilty of domestic violence interfering with judicial proceedings. You were placed on probation for 24 months. You were given written conditions of probation. The court was petitioned to revoke your probation because they say that you violated your probation in the following allegations. One, that honor about January 26th of 2022, you failed to report to adult probation as directed. Two, that honor about February 24th of 2022, you failed to reside in an address approved by adult probation. Three, that on or about March 2nd of 2022, you failed to request and obtain written permission of the probation department prior to leaving the state. And four, on or about February 24th, 2022, you failed to report for your scheduled city court review hearing. I will enter denials of those allegations at this time. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And I'm going to order that you be held on a $1,500 cash or secured bond. If you were to post that bond, I'm ordering that you commit no acts of domestic violence and that you have no contact of any kind with any alleged victims. And if you are still in custody, you'll have your video review on May 14th at 1:30. If you were to post your bond, you would need to get to Tucson City Court on that date and time, or warrants will issue for your arrest. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir. Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is there any possibility, I know this is like leniency I'm asking for, but I have a wife out there that I need to get the money that's in my back pocket. It's a debit card, but I promised I'd give her this money, and we will both be homeless if I don't get her my Social Security money. And I am really concerned about us having a home if I'm not out there with this.
Well, sir, I'm not gonna release you. I'm holding you on the bond. You can try and get a hold of her through a phone call. But that's the order. All right, sir? You're excused.
Hey. It's really, hold on. They have to begin with that. I was saying. Let's get part of my dog.
Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Chris really try it.
Mr. Craddock, I am seeing you this evening on a few different matters. You've got a new misdemeanor charge of criminal trespass. And then you've got a warrant out of Maricopa County for aggravated DUI charges and unlawful flight from law enforcement from October 7th of 2023. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. You've got one seated next to you for this evening's hearing. Was there a bond recommendation on this? I can't remember if you give bond recommendations on out-of-county warrants.
No, Your Honor, we abide by the out-of-county.
Okay. So it looks like they're asking for a $500 bond. Did defense want to be heard on this?
Yes, please, Judge. So it looks like there's two warrants. I think the first one is the DUI one where I'm seeing a $550 bond on the probation violation warrant. This is in the pretrial services report. Oh, okay. So I believe there's two probation violation warrants out of county, and there is one a direct indictment. Okay, or a complaint, which is so is there a bond on the probation one? Because
Probation.
okay.
And then the one that he has to be seen on is without bond.
Oh, okay. So I believe, Judge, it's two $500 bonds and $550 bonds. So due to that, I'm asking the court to consider releasing Mr. Credit to Maricopa. The other reason also, judges, is it looks like multiple return to sender notices were filed according to the pretrial services report. And can I just get one moment, Judge? I just want to ask the jail. Thank you. So, Judge, I just talked to the jail, and it looks like one of the Maricopa warrants is a hold without bond. So the jail's protocol is no matter what the court does, if the court releases him on everything, they'll let Maricopa know. So I think given that the jails told me that we would be asking for nominal bonds and everything, so he earns time credit, finishes his local cases, and then returns to that.
Well, his only local case is this criminal trespass charge. So I think it makes more sense to release him on that so he can go to Maricopa and deal with their stuff. And then you're just going to have to make sure that you get to Tucson City Court to deal with this new charge. So, all right, as to the Maricopa County, right, I don't have the probation violation in front of me. I just have the warrant for the pre-indictment or pre-adjudicated act DUI. So I'm going to order release on that. no alcohol or illegal drugs, do not drive without a valid driver's license. And you'll deal with that when you get to Maricopa.
Was it released on his own signature or through?
On his own signature.
Thank you.
All right, and then on the city court matter, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. Warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. On that matter, I'll order release on your promise to appear. Don't return to the incident location. And hearing in city court is going to be on June 2nd at 9:30. So hopefully you'll be all done with your Maricopa County stuff and we'll be able to go to that. I would suggest letting somebody know, either the court or your attorney there, that if you're not going to be out of custody by that date, let them know that you're there in Maricopa County so you don't end up with another warrant. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Your excuse, sir.
Judge, did the court appoint the city PDs on the Maricopa, on the city court?
No.
Matter? No. Oh,
Since he's out of custody. Yeah,
oh, sounds good.
technically.
Okay.
Hey, sir. Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Yes, Leonard White Odell.
Right, Mr. Odell, I am seeing you this evening on a few different matters. You've got new felony charges of criminal damage and disorderly conduct that are going to be handled out of Pima County Superior Court. You have some new misdemeanors.
Can I get a second to talk to this guy right here?
Sure.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you.
Judge, we're ready to go whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Odell, you're charged with 3 misdemeanor disorderly conduct, criminal damage, and knowingly touching a person with intent to insult or provoke. And then you've got a warrant out of El Centro Justice Court for obstructing justice. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney on the felony matters. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for this evening's hearing. So, state recommended pretrial services, but that's not my inclination given everything that Mr. Odell has going on. But I'll hear from defense.
Yes, Judge. So when we went on mute, Mr. Odell was informing me that he had some sort of screening and he has stable housing now. It's because it's the Salvation Army is where hold on, let's speak this. So he is avowing to the court that he will come if the court releases him this evening. The other thing, Judge, is I understand the court's concerns. He is a 6 on 6 on the FTA and NCA scale. But Your Honor, as to the disorderly conduct with the dangerous weapon, deadly instrument charge. I understand there are no listed victims at this time, but intent to disturb the peace, while I concede the conduct at issue has the potential to disturb someone's peace. There are no named victims in the matter, and Your Honor, I'm also trying to figure out what the deadly weapon / dangerous instrument was, although I may have missed it just looking at it with his cane. So never mind.
Yeah.
I see what it is. So Your Honor, for all those reasons, we're asking the court to consider, and given that he now has stable housing, we're asking the court to consider releasing him on all matters, if not in them.
And were you saying that his stable housing is through the Salvation Army?
Correct, just because he reports to me that
Approved yesterday.
Well,
Just waiting for about
that's what you were charged with. All of those misdemeanor charges that I told you about all were the Salvation Army. So you cannot go back there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a very confusing, conflicting situation, and this is a syndicated matter. All of them were acting together as a group, and I don't like the way this.
Right. Mr. Odell, I'm going to tell you what your conditions of release are on each of these in each of these jurisdictions. So as to the Tucson City Court matters, I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty for you at this time and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. Warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. So on court matters, and I don't think I got to the fact that there are 4 pending 2024 cases as well that were in warrant status. So as to all of those cases, I'm going to order a $1,500 cash or secured bond. Order that you have no contact with any victims, that you not return to any incident locations. I am going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. And you will have a video review hearing on May 6th at 1:45. If you were to post your bonds, you would need to get to Tucson City Court on May 30th at 2:00 in the afternoon. All right, and then on the local felony, I'll order a $1,000 bond. It'll be cash or secured. Release to pretrial services. If that bond is posted, do not return to that incident location. And preliminary hearing date is scheduled for May 8th. And if I didn't say so already, public defender is appointed. Is there I don't think I have any paperwork on a justice court warrant. I have paperwork on a El Centro, but there's also a Pima County Justice Court warrant. No. Yeah, I don't have any paperwork on that though. Yeah. Okay. All right. So on the El Centro matter, it's like that's a 2009 case.
El Central, I don't even, doesn't mean 2009. I wasn't even here.
And I think just they're listing a $250 bond, and I don't know if the court wants to impose that, so hopefully you can get some credit from it.
Yeah, I'll order a $250 cash bond in that matter, and then a review hearing will be scheduled for May 28th at 9:00 in the morning to track the local matters. And then finally, there is a justice court warrant for charge of threat. Looks like this was from 2024. It's all right. If you want to, I'm just going to set a bond if you want to just exit out of there so I can do that. Okay. I'm just getting a copy of that warrant because I didn't have one. So justice court is for charges of threats and intimidation, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass from February 20th of 2024. On that matter, can you exit out so I can think? All right. On that matter, I'll order a $500 cash or secured bond. I'll appoint Sam Washington to represent you in justice court.
That's cool.
And your hearing will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for that matter. All right, sir, that's all. You're excused.
What is it mean?
So
Close the doors. Street.
See,
Hi, ma'am. Can I get your full name?
yes, ma'am. Is Sandra Louise Phillips?
Ms. Grillet, I'm seeing you this evening on a couple of different matters. You have a new charge of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. And then you've got a warrant out of Maricopa County for 2020 possession of narcotic drugs case. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I did not get a probable cause statement in the criminal trespass matter. I'm going to order that you be released on that. But you still need to get to Tucson City Court for your court date for that.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't go back to whatever incident location you were arrested at. That
No, ma'am.
hearing in Tucson City Court will be on May 29th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Promise not to forget.
Okay, and you're going to get paperwork with that information.
Okay.
And then on the Maricopa County case, did you know that you had that pending?
Yes. I was in the middle of taking care of that. I was already speaking to the Judge McGuire and Secretary about the situation. I was already filing a motion to squash them. I had seen the 3 different locations, but a couple days after that, ma'am, I had got evicted wrongfully and they threw my kids out in the street. So my main priority was to get shelter, and I just had got police shelter at the Desert Cove. I've been there for about a week or maybe 2 weeks now. So I was just, I wasn't trying to avoid the warrant. That's my number one goal. The place with my 4-year-old and 7-year-old was number one. So I apologize.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear in court. So when you get your paperwork, we're putting Maricopa County's Superior Court's phone number on here so that you can call them. You need to set up a court date or another warrant is going to issue. Okay. So
It's number
take,
down. I promise I will.
great. Take care of that. And then make sure you get to your city court case date. Okay.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Tommy Suk.
Where is she? Where is she?
All right, sir. Mr. Suksavath, I'm seeing you this evening on a couple of different matters. You've got new charges of unlawful possession of a narcotic drug for sale, 2 counts. I'm sorry, it looks like maybe it's not for sale. But then you have some older charges from October 31st of 2024 that are for possession of a narcotic drug for sale, possession of marijuana for sale, another count of possession of narcotic drug for sale, possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited possessor, possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a felony drug offense, and possession of a dangerous drug. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the legal defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. So on the warrant, I do see that this was a refiled matter. He was originally held on a $35,000 bond. But then they were dismissed and then refiled a couple of weeks later. And the state is asking for a $50,000 bond with pretrial on the new matter and a $35,000 bond with pretrial on the previous matter. Ms. Orozco, it looks like these charges are for simple possession, right? The new charges?
The new charges are, but they were, the charges arose from an arrest on a federal warrant for possession for sale. And we are concerned about the use of a weapon in the underlying case, in the warrant case, as well as the prior felony conviction. And I did list the alleged quantities in the recommendation.
Is there a federal hold?
No, Judge, that is what surprises me. There is no history of any federal involvement, and I don't know where that's coming from. The defense does not have that information, and we will be objecting to the court considering that. I know the court won't, but we are objecting that being introduced for purposes of this hearing.
Ms. Orozco, do you have any more information on that federal warrant? Because we're not seeing it anywhere.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. As soon as I said that, my pretrial services website went out.
Oh, yeah, it does. It's been doing that, and then you have to like reboot it.
If I am incorrect on that, I apologize. Let me. No, I must be mistaking it with another recommendation that I made. It was that there is I do have a federal warrant listed in the pretrial services and the 2024 4378 case. If pretrial services will just open for me. But that is where I got that from.
Yeah, I don't see it in there. I don't see anything about a federal case.
Records, is there a federal? No, okay.
This is a warrant.
Just warranted income complaints? Okay, okay, thank you.
Then I withdraw that portion of my recommendation. I apologize.
All right, do you want to change your recommendation from the 50,000?
No, Your Honor, based on the prior prior warrant that was a high amount and the fact that a weapon was used in the prior case.
Okay. All right, defense.
Your Honor, I didn't have a chance to look at the alleged quantities that were put on the recommendations. I'm just trying to pull that up, but my computer's a little slow.
I had 89 M30 pills and around 3 grams of cocaine with packaging.
Judge, so I think there's a reasonable dispute as to whether, I mean, there may be some forged sales allegations that may be forthcoming because of, so Your Honor, we would be asking for release at this time because these are victimless offenses. Mr. Notice of the refiled matter. I don't know if the Superior Court mailed out summons or this was just a warrant matter itself, given that it was dismissed and later refiled. At least from the pretrial services report, it doesn't look like a summons was issued. He had no idea that the case was refiled, Mr. Suksavat told me. Had he known, he would have contacted his attorney and returned to Superior Court to go to his arraignment. As to the new case, Judge, it is steps eligible. The state is offering the steps contract. For all those reasons, Your Honor, we're asking the court to consider releasing him on both matters so he can come to his arraignment and also be screened for the steps program. Thank you.
And also, I also note that Judge Gordon, who was the one that signed the warrant, recommended a $15,000 secured bond. So that's what I'm going to order. $15,000 cash or secured on the warrant matter. Pretrial services, if that bond is posted, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial. Arraignment is scheduled for May 5th at 1:30. And then on the new matter, I would order a concurrent bond, but I can't because it's pre-indictment. So I'm going to order a $250 cash or secured bond. Released to pretrial if that bond is posted, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and steps.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I apologize. I found where I was coming from. It's in the interim complaint. It says that U.S. Marshals arrested him on a felony warrant on April 28th. And so I took that as a federal warrant, not that it was arrested on this current case. My apologies for the misunderstanding.
Okay, no problem. Now we all understand. So steps hearing is scheduled for May 5th at 9 o'clock. And the preliminary hearing date is May 8th. All right, sir, that is all. You're excused. Great, thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good evening. Thank you, Mr. Roscoe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.